where is this gonna... I was checking. I wanted to see what the format was. I was looking online, but I didn't see... That's why. So I was like, actually, I didn't know. Sabi ko, should I wear makeup? I had no idea. Sabi ko, but let me check to see what it looks like. And then I checked on Spotify and YouTube and Facebook. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just come as myself. That's it. So I didn't know if there was going to be a video component. Oh, wow, I haven't heard that in forever.
Campus life is that part of your life that you will relive in your memories until you breathe your last. And on today's episode of our podcast series, Decades La Salle, we have no less than an OPM icon who's celebrating her 25th year in the music industry this year. She was the lead for award-winning bands Hungry Young Poets and hint hint about who she is, Barbie's Cradle. She's the it girl of my generation, someone we all desperately wanted to be on magazine covers, on Sunsilk, on close-up ads. And here she is today, no less than the Barbie Almalbis.
Hey, you did some research there.
Because it's true. Like, genuinely, your 17 cover with the electric...
You remember that?
I love that. In fact,
thank you.
I think that was what led me to my first ever publishing job in the real world.
Oh, really?
I worked for 17 very, very briefly.
Nice. Yeah, that was cool, yeah.
And I told them in that interview that I love your cover of Barbie. And I feel like she was leaping out of the cover.
Yeah, that was fun, a lot of fun. Yeah, it was during the time when they were doing their first like local covers during that season. Parang they were,
and here you are again, back in La Salle.
Both of us.
Both of us back in La Salle. I mean, this is a DLSU podcast, so of course, we love to ask our guests, what was it like during your time in La Salle? And I know your history here is storied. It was 10 years in the making.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us
Me and La Salle, we have a 10-year-long history nga. Well, so my original ID number was 9500626. So that was in 95. In good old days talaga. At that time, well, I was studying business management, but I was already into music, so I would bring my guitar to school. I met a lot of like my people who became my friends in bands. This is around campus or in UM. Wait, my university mall pa ba? Is it still called University Mall? Okay, there we would have lunch. There we would jam, and and I would write songs in school, like sometimes in class. And my seatmate in accounting class, like leaned over and noticed I wasn't listening, and I was writing a song, like in my notebook. And he's like, what are you doing, writing a song? And like that. Anyway, his name was Raymond Golamco. And and he's like, oh, I'm a musician too. And then he got this, like, do you remember those wallets with you have the parang accordion type photo? Basta ganon. It's like this acetate, ganyan. So he had all his photos. He's like, I'm a musician too. Here's a photo of my guitar. So he got it's like, hindi girlfriend yung nasa wallet pictures ng guitar niya. But then, and then through him, I got to meet Ricky Gurango. He became my bandmate in Hungry Young Poets. My first band who got to record. But I did have a band also before that. We played in Battle of the Bands here. There at the football field.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And you had several, later on you would have collaborations with a fellow Lasallian, si Kitchi.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yes.
And we're happy to have you here because, of course, we have Lasallian music icons, the likes of Gary V. In fact, in this podcast series, we also interviewed Ben and Ben.
Yeah.
But of course, as a female, I want someone who is also a female. And immediately the team thought, it has to be Barbie. And we're so happy you agreed to be part of this interview. Could you tell us, like, what were the classes that you like the best? What were the classes that were like,
Well, okay. Well, first, one of the extracurriculars. Like, I was part of the band, the La Salle band. This was more of an orchestra. I think they have a different name now. What is it called? Yeah, exactly. La Salle Youth Orchestra.
Before they were pops.
Yeah, we were called the Pops Orchestra.
I see.
And yeah, so we did like tours. I mean, around like different schools, you would perform, or sometimes you'd perform at the amphitheater. I think it's still there, right?
Amphi's still there, yeah.
Yeah, so we would perform there. So it was somewhere in this building, but in this area. It's
You
like,
did softball too, right?
I did softball too for a few terms, I think. So we would practice at Rizal Stadium. I'm not good. I just like, I'm saling pusa in softball. But yeah, it was fun. Some of my classmates were also part of the team. But it was definitely, a fun way to make friends in school when you have these extracurriculars. As far as okay, so I like you mentioned earlier, I was in La Salle for 10 years, right? So my first like couple of years, with my original ID, because I honestly, I feel like maybe I was too young to really know what I wanted to do in life, right? So I was in business management. That was my course, and that's the course naman that I graduated. But during that time, I wanted to do music, right? So I would go to my classes. I just kind of wing it lang because I just be more excited to do music talaga. But at that time, I guess some of my favorite classes were my philosophy classes. It was just very,
Because you write your own songs too, so I feel like philosophy would be a natural...
something, a thing that really interested me. And we had a teacher na talagang, parang very strong talaga yung personality niya, si Mr. Gohoko. And talagang, he would really like shake your faith to, on its foundations. Parang ganon. Parang, it really, I guess it was one of my first, times to encounter that kind of thinking, siguro. So it was really an exciting class for me. And then my accounting class, because I was like kind of just winging it. So si Mrs. Velasco, I don't know if you guys know her, but she's, talagang.
This was in LS building.
Yeah, LS building. She's super strict. And anyway, and then I also loved my, challenging, but my statistics class, ganyan.
The dreaded statistics class.
Yeah.
In all of the commerce.
It's like if you're absent, you can't be absent for like, if you're absent for like 2 days, then you just drop ka na lang kasi you're so behind. It's just so fast-paced.
Correct.
I think, I don't know, I forgot how many times I dropped that class. Because when I had gigs, if I miss it for 2-3 days, parang, see you next term again, So, yeah, but anyway, so during that first time, it was kind of ganun lang. I was more into music talaga. And so, after maybe my sophomore year, the band started getting busy. So, I couldn't handle my school schedule and then my gig schedule. So I just left. I just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I left. But then a few years later, first I said na, since I'm a musician and I'm not done with school, sabi ko, maybe I'll just, study again. So I enrolled in a music school in Saints Co. I did a music course. So I came back to La Salle. I got my honorable dismissal and transcripts and everything. Went to Saints Co. for 1 year. And then after that, parang I had this just desire to go back. Actually, after a conversation with a friend, I told my friend, sabi ko, actually, pinagpa-pray ko nga. Sabi niya, parang I have this desire to go back to La Salle and finish what I started. And
which is even cooler, I must say, for a rock star to go back and finish school.
So then my friend was like, Barbie, hindi na pinagpa-pray yan. Sabi niya, hindi na pinagpa-pray. Just go do it. So I came back here, and then I went to the admissions again. I was like, can I go back and finish, re-enroll? Sabi nila, never in history may gumawa ng ganito, na umalis, tapos gustong bumalik. Sabi niya, we don't know what to do with you. Like what process? Sabi niya, so ganito na lang, mag-exam ka ulit, entrance exam. If you pass, then you can continue. So I had to brush up on high school subjects again, like study like
algebra.
Yung mga sa ganun lang, just to take the exam. And then, thankfully, I was able to continue. So So then I looked at my old flow chart and my old grades, like, grabe. But then, but that second time around was really a great experience. Because I think, I was older and parang mas naintindihan ko na why I was studying the things I was studying. So parang suddenly, like my law classes, my taxation classes, I enjoyed everything na kasi it was relevant na. I guess as a person of that age, na parang, useful pala talaga itong mga bagay na to. Like my business marketing classes, I enjoyed them and I got to apply them to what I was already doing because I was working as a musician na. So, it was a great experience. I'm so thankful I got to go back to school and, like learn all those things that I felt were relevant.
And I think as a musician, in a way, your business is yourself.
Your music,
Your music.
It's a music business,
You create your own products in the form of songs.
Yeah.
Of course, two of those songs are Torpe and the anthem to Tabing Ilog. So I think, at least for my generation, those were really the ones that not just, I guess, describe us, but also that period of time. You know how certain songs describe a period in history or in time, and those two songs definitely. You've probably been asked this already before, but I think, kasi syempre, in the 90s, early 2000s, times were different. I think it's fair to say that as a female or as a woman, there are expectations, diba? There are obvious assumptions also of how you should act, how you should behave, you should be proper, you should be sweet. But what I loved about you, I'm fangirling by the way, is that you broke all those norms in your own way.
I guess I couldn't help it.
But could you take us through that time? Kasi, the ones who might be listening might be listening in this podcast come from 80s babies like me, but all the way down to the current generation, the ones who are teens now and studying here. And, to give them that capsule.
Well, I think my being a musician naman, and I guess the way that, I was, like, really started from Rojas City, where I grew up. So that was the 80s, right? So there wasn't much to do where, in our barangay. It was like, basta malayo siya sa city proper of Rojas City. So all I could really do was, play. But that was the thing that I enjoyed, that I found that I enjoyed doing every day, was play guitar. So ganun lang. So ganun din. I started writing songs when I was 14. And then, so by the time I came to college, I had, I didn't have a plan. I didn't think that I was going to become a musician because there was no music industry where I lived, right? So it was like, parang yung pagiging artist, parang ano lang siya. It's just something that you do for fun. So, kaya nga, business management yung course ko. Kasi hindi ko naisip na pwede maging musician. But I'm yun nga, like I said, I'm so grateful for the opportunities dito sa La Salle nga to meet other musicians, to have the band, and to get opportunities to perform. So that's what I did. I was the girl who, I was the girl who came to school with my guitar. I mean, I didn't need to. It wasn't needed in my classes, but I always had the guitar bag. Kasi pag break na, magja-jamming na kami ng mga friends. And that's why I'm so happy to see now that there are many girls like walking around campus with, music, with instruments, right? Like, back then, it was like probably 3 of us. So that's why I was like, hey. They're like, hey, you're the other girl who will carry the guitar. You know what I mean? Like 3 or 4 women who were into music that way, I guess. So like, Aya De Leon of Imago.
Yes, Aya. Oh.
Yeah, I met her here in La Salle. So she's like one of those friends of mine that we would jam together during, because there weren't many of us that time. And of course, Kachi is younger than us. So nandun na siya sa season 2 ko dito. Doon na kami naging magka-batch dito sa La Salle. But also another friend, si Rinka. She's also a singer-songwriter.
And Barbie, you're very humble, but I have to paint this for the audience kasi to understand. At that time, 90s, parang to succeed in the music industry, you had to be like a pop star or, a balladeer or, very confined. And here you came like with your electric guitar. So that was really, I think, if I were to close my eyes at the time, mix, MYX, the channel.
Yes,
I think you created a whole new standard, and that's why. Yeah, for young women now, wala na problema. And they can even paint their hair whatever color. They can
I'm just grateful then to have been, able to, yeah, to do that. And syempre grateful din sa mga people who, ano din naman it's like I didn't like invented anything. It was just, parang people also paved the way for me. Like, people like Cookie Chua, people like Cynthia Alexander, these women that, I looked up to. And like, this one of my favorite bands before Sugar Hiccup, Melody del Mundo. Actually, I remember this story. Basta they were gonna play here one of our school fairs. So they were we used to just listen to them on their tape or on the radio because wala pang mix during that time actually during the and I was so excited to see her perform. And then so we ran to the front of the stage. Yung tinawag na Sugar Hiccup. We ran to the front and then biglang nag-announce yung guitar player nila. Our singer has migrated to the US. She won't be here. Yeah, but I mean, but eventually I got to meet her and we got to do collaboration and things like that. But yeah, I'm grateful for those din na, parang, pave the way for me. And so I'm just happy then that I could do the same, for others. But yeah.
I'm glad because I even remember your performances where, of course, you're playing alt rock, but because I like fashion, so I also love your fashion sense because
really? No,
you would wear a dress with pants, and then which was the thing of the time, and it's coming back now.
Yeah,
and
it is really coming back now. Like, are you literally like checking your closet for like old stuff, and then you can? Yeah, me too. I'm like, I used to wear this in the '90s. I'm wearing it again.
All of these things.
Yeah.
And I liked how, of course you were playing alt rock, but you still were feminine. Hindi yung parang galit ka sa mundo, or you were wearing glitter. So
like glitter.
So at least there's a good balance. Give love with Lasallian Giving. Lasallian Giving is a new online donation facility that calls us to spread love for our Lasallian mission. Please visit the Lasallian Giving portal to donate via e-wallet or online banking, or go to any of our over-the-counter payment centers to support DLSU. Lasallian friends and alumni may donate any amount to the following projects and campaigns: scholarships for Lasallian Legacy Fund, sports, culture and arts, infrastructure and facilities, this podcast, and Santuario de La Salle. Leave a legacy, strengthen our animo. Give now at www.dlsu.edu.ph/give. You recently had a Firewoman concert.
Yeah.
How was that?
And it was, well, at first nerve-wracking. It was like, syempre, we hadn't done the thing like that for a while, but really a blessing. It was, something that I couldn't have dreamed, would happen. Like all my former bandmates came, and we got to revisit the old songs and jam. So it's so grateful for how it turned out, and parang it's not kasi in every venue that you get to play, even the deep cuts, diba? Sometimes when you perform, it's in like the songs you mentioned, like which I'm happy to perform them. But in that concert, we got to play the other songs that were the albums, yung mga favorites, mga personal favorites namin that not many people might know, but you
had your own eras, which is what everyone's also I also love how you use your music for good, like raising funds. You mentioned Aya. I mean, Aya, and when Kichi was still here, you had a concert. Maybe you can share also more about that and why you did that.
We're actually, especially in more recently, we have a chat group. Because we're Aya, Kichi, myself, and other friends who are musicians. We're all like moms now. Parang yung trajectory in life namin medyo similar. Parang mga pinagdadaanan namin similar. So we really have this really close-knit na group, and we pray for each other. We give advice to each other, and then we do work together. And we actually, I'm not sure when this is coming out, but we have a collaboration song that's coming out very, very soon. Yeah. So,
Okay.
but we've done different gigs, concerts together for in support of different causes and.
Yeah, because like one cause is the live music venues that were hit very hard.
Oh
of
yeah,
course,
we did.
diba?
Yeah, we did that during the pandemic. Syempre, when you see a performer, it's just a band, but there's actually an entire team, right? That makes these things happen. The crew, the sound guys, everything, the marketing guys, and everybody really took a hit during the pandemic. The entertainment was like the first to like. Of the of the non-essentials.
The live entertainment nga. Really
all the people still looked for music, except we just did gigs on Zoom and on Facebook Live, But the live entertainment, we had to work together to support, the industry people and.
You mentioned motherhood, which is, of course, by looking at you, people will never guess because you still look as, ingenue like as you did before. But how are you now as a mom? And
motherhood.
Are you a cool mom? Are you friends with your kids? Are you a strict mom?
I mean, I try to be a cool mom, but I don't think I'm a cool mom. My kids, like, I think I was a cool mom like 3 years ago, but now my kids are in their teens, so now I'm not cool anymore. It's like, But it's okay. It's a different season. Like my son just turned 13 and our daughter is now 16.
Wow.
So it's like, if there's dad jokes, I'm the one who has the mom jokes now.
And it's good that they're here also to check out campus.
I wanted to. My niece Anya now goes to school here, so I think it's her first year here. So I brought my daughter along so she can, her cousin can show her around in case she wants to go to school here too.
No pressure. No pressure. And your inaanak is Zild, who is, I think, one of the shining stars of OPM right now.
I'm so proud of him.
What advice do you give him, or
Okay.
How do you relate with?
Well, actually, I'm good friends because his dad is a drummer of Barbie's Cradle, Hungry Young Poets, and we still jam from time to time. So through the years, actually, Zild, when he was 13, played bass for my band.
No way.
Yeah,
at 13 years old.
because he's that talented. He grew up din kasi around musicians. So his dad was like, one time, it happened a couple of times, but the first time it happened, his dad was like, we don't have a bass player. Sabi niya, Zild can do it. Sabi niya, I'll make sure, I'll train him.
Wow.
So we did an out-of-town gig.
Amazing.
It was like, he did it, and it went really well. And so I'm so proud of him. I've seen him evolve as a musician and really find his own way. And he used to watch when he was a kid. He used to watch our rehearsals. Like, sobrang yan. Sobrang bait na bata. Maganin yan sa amin. Hello po, Ninang. Ganyan, maliit pa siya. But I'm so proud of him. So,
his music videos are like art films.
Yeah.
With how well conceptualized and executed they
total
are.
Total artist talaga siya. Kahit
Yung
sa fashion. Fashion.
The makeup
fashion,
niya.
lahat, ganyan. Yeah.
And I think Ben and Ben, we also interviewed Ben and Ben in another episode of the podcast.
That's
and
great.
Of course, they talked about their La Sallian education, how
What was their course, Ben and Ben? Engineering.
And iniiyakan din nila, same, iniiyakan nila yung mga math, they reminisce about being in Miguel Building, ganyan.
Yeah. But it's great how, yun nga, kahit ganun yung mga courses namin, somehow, there's a lot of diversity and support for the arts within the school that, we were able to still grow in that area. Kasi yun nga, every lunch break, music na ginagawa ko business, diba? Like,
And you found your people here too, in the community.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Maybe, if you weren't here in La Salle, who knows what might have happened, no?
Yeah.
Parang it needed to happen. Naging philosophical. Philosophy. I want to ask also about, the music industry and of course your faith. I think that's something that many people also would be curious about. Because,
Sure.
I mean, Of course, the HBO show, The Idol, is intense and crazy, but it paints the music industry in a very bad light. But there is, of course, still that reputation. If you're in music, late nights, all alcohol or whatever. But how were you able to retain yourself, in that crazy world?
Actually, I think I wasn't able to. I think I had lost myself first.
Oh, you
yeah.
did.
And that was one of the reasons why I actually left school. I couldn't handle because I was how old? 19, 18 or something like that when I started. And so I was in college, and then I was doing the music thing. Everything was new to me, all these new experiences. And of course, you're in the bars nga, surrounded by, diba? Parang that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I kind of got lost there at the start. That's why I couldn't juggle everything. But I think that low point in my life was also, I guess not really thankful for it, but I'm thankful for how God, rescued me, from that low point. Because it was at that time na, and like I said, my philosophy classes really got me thinking, and I got to a point where I felt really desperate, na parang, God, I don't know anymore if you're real. You know what I mean? Just like that. It's because of all these thoughts and all these. I said, but if you're really real, I need to know. I feel so down, and it's weird because on the outside, people were like, my band was doing well, and people thought I'm okay.
Yeah, you had so many achievements.
But then inside, I felt like, yun nga, parang empty, and so yun. So I got to that point of God, if you're really real, I need to know.
Wow.
Can't just be just religion anymore, or something that I kind of do on Sundays, but I need to know if you're real.
How did you resolve that?
So,
how did you find your way?
Yeah, so I had friends who who would share with me. We did Bible studies, things like that. And then, well, I was actually started reading the Bible during that time, and I came across. So yun nga, I wanted to know if God was real, so that I wanted to have guidance in my life, right? But then I couldn't see Him, so it's like, how do I really know? Because I can't, And then I was reading this verse on Matthew. Is it Matthew 5? Somewhere there, I forgot the address. but it says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." So when I saw that verse, it really parang struck me. Because I knew yun nga, like I said, that the whole band lifestyle, all these things that I got it. I won't na lang mention them, but yun nga, the rock and roll lifestyle. Para I knew that, diba, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So I knew I wasn't pure. I knew I was kind of living a crazy life, and so parang gets ko now why I can't see God. It's because of this, So yeah, that was one of the beginnings of that. Na I just went down on my knees in my room, and I said, okay, God, sige, I'll do it your way. I want to see you. I want to change. Help me change. And yeah, going back to school was part of that journey, actually, because when I started walking with God, taking it seriously, and parang I really began to see Him. Because my life began to change. Even the role of music in my life, parang, paano ko ba explain? Parang, even my relationship with my parents and my siblings, parang everything, my relationship with God affected all these things. And kaya nga, going back to school, I feel like God resurrected a lot of things in my life, including my grades. Because my season 1,
I'm gonna use that line.
I call it season 1. Like I said, season 1 La Salle, I was just writing songs in class, daydreaming, just really getting by. And yun nga, parang
season
modesty
2.
aside, it was yun nga, parang first time ko nag-dean's list ever nung yung season 2 ko na sa school. So I knew it was really God who resurrected everything, including that, my grades, and I was able to finish. But
that will be one of the blurbs for this episode, for sure. Nakikita ko na siya.
So it's I mean, it's been, ano na, that was like 2001 when that happened. So it's been more than 20 years. And yeah, I don't know how I could have, even in the music industry, talking about Zild earlier, di ba, about
Yeah.
advice. Yeah, when things started to blow up for Zild and we'd have conversations, I always remind him about that, you know, not to get lost in, because it's empty, you know, the fame and all these things, like, also like when people put you on a pedestal, right?
Oo.
Sometimes like we've had these discussions before na parang
The
no,
ego.
yeah, the ego, no, parang we're not as human. In my, but I believe, like, my faith is that as humans we're not built for that, right? So you can't really carry that kind of burden. So it's like, that's why we worship God, we glorify Him. Parang sabi ko, dapat always bring the glory back to God. It doesn't really belong to you, and because you can't take it. You'll go crazy if you feel like it belongs to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you believe your own hype.
Yeah. So just, you know, enjoy the music, but always find. I guess that's what I told him. Parang always find that grounding, find your community, and yun na. Parang give back the glory to God, because like parang mas nandun eh. Parang you'll thrive more being fulfilling that purpose of being. I guess just ano tawag dun? Like, parang jars of clay, right? It's like we're, you know, we do our part to be part of the good that God's doing, but always it's not about us, because yeah, it's very empty when you're lost in just that and thinking that it's just about yourself.
It's very wise. You know, how different do you think your life would have been if you didn't come to La Salle?
Oh wow. I don't know. I don't even want to imagine it. It sounds very boring. Yeah, I'm so grateful. Yeah, for my time here, even the friendships that I have forged, you know, that had been forged through my years. I'm still good friends with, you know, my college friends and
Who would become your bandmates
Yeah,
too, no?
yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And I guess I have to ask too, as a mom, do you wish for, you know, your, I mean, well, I mean, it might be too
No
early
pressure,
too.
but-
Oh.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that would be wonderful if they'd wanna, you know, if they'd have
Follow
enough
in the
opportunity to.
footsteps.
Yeah. They're also, may mga artistic leanings din sila, and I think La Salle is a great school that, you know, has opportunities for, you know, for our kind. For our
Yeah,
kind.
because you paint too, and your husband
Yeah, my husband is
a
a
painter.
painter, yeah.
How do you think that influenced you as a parent? You know, being, you know, a full blown creative. You know, not just as a
Yeah. I guess I just do my best. Like, kasi yun nga, there's really no parang blueprint, right? It's like every season is new. So I've tried to just allow our children also to discover their own parang art, and parang we do send them to, you know, music lessons and all these things, but I've always tried to do my best to make them have their own space, you know, when it comes to their art. Now it's yours, it's not something forced, or it's, you know, you can explore, because that's how I ended up loving music. It's because it was my own thing. So that's what I try to control myself and not be as too much of a stage mom. You know?
do they realize like how well, for lack of a better term, do they realize how big you really were, or it's something that
I don't
still
know.
surprises them that,
Yeah.
hey mom, I saw this, or my classmate told me that, my classmate's mom told me
Your
this.
classmates mom. Yeah.
Must be fun. One
Yeah.
anecdote.
Yeah,
That.
but like I said, now they're in their teens, so I'm not cool anymore. They're like, Mom, look at BTS, look at their followers. Look at ano, ganyan.
Yeah,
So that's why, so now my lesson is, guys, it's not about the followers, okay? It's about the, you know, because they also might go into that path. So I'm also like telling them, you know, just do your own thing,
Express.
enjoy it, ganyan. Yeah. So right now, yeah, yun yung season namin ngayon. It's ano, sila na yung cool. Ako na yung nagtatry maging cool.
Yeah, because also during the height of your career, wala pang ano nga nun eh, wala pang mental health breaks, you know. We were so
Oh, yeah.
cruel the world was so cruel to entertainers, and you know, of course, ibang level yung nangyari kay Britney Spears, but that's just an example of how.
Wala pang internet nun, ano? So,
yeah, wala pang internet. Oh.
so
Meron
how
na,
were they
pero mabagal
it was
pa.
on the tabloids lang and
Oo,
things like that.
tabloids, ganyan.
Yeah.
Oo.
Oo
And
nga.
maybe a forum here, a forum there. Pero hindi pa siya yung tulad ngayon na,
Oo.
well,
At
pros
least
and
ngayon,
cons. Because
yeah.
at least now, there's consciousness of mental health. Pero
Yeah.
it's also so...
Yeah, it is really a power that you can wield for
Yeah.
good and evil.
Everyone
like the
has
internet.
a comment. Everyone has an opinion.
Yeah.
Would you want to have that again at this day and age, or are you open to just, you know, looking back at the work that's already been done, or are you still, you know, keen on making new music?
Like I shared earlier, when I started writing songs, I was 14 and living in Iloilo and Rojas City. Music wasn't a career or anything. It was just something I loved doing. So I got a taste of that again during the pandemic. It was like everything stopped. But then I was in my room with my guitar. It's like, I'm thankful I still get to do this though, because I enjoyed, you know, just doing that. So, you know, that's my prayer, that I still, you know, get to continue, you know, making music. So,
do you have a dream collaboration in mind, or
yeah.
is there like a,
I
you know,
mean,
is there
I'm a
something
fan of the new breed. I mean, like we mentioned nga, sila Zil, like people like Clara Ben and Muni Muni. So many young artists now.
carving their own?
Yeah, and really, like, yun nga, couple of decades ago, the record labels would be like, masyadong mataas yan, or masyadong ganito. You know what I mean? But now, people are so free to express their own and experiment. So, before it was kind of rare to see the kinds of the diversity, the variety of music that we see today. So as a music fan, diba, it's a great time for us because there's all kinds of music being made.
Nice.
And yeah, so dami bands like Tight Edit, si Gaba. Yeah, magagaling yung mga ano. Yeah.
Pag narinig nila tong podcast, I'm sure they'll be like, na-mention kami. So this might just happen. I guess closing up now, what's the thing about La Salle that, you know, you'd like the future generations to still have? Like your experience of La Salle, is there one thing or two things that you'd like to remain unchanged for future
okay,
generations?
so I studied business management, right? We had, and then we had this entrepreneurship course where we had to make a product and
sell here
and sell here and there. We went to all the bazaars, get to, ganon. The thing about La Salle that I appreciated the most, it wasn't just an academic thing that you just learn, put it in your brain, and then put it out during exams and forget about it, right? It's really real life experience. It's like when you go out there, you already became an entrepreneur while you were here, you know. So, and being a musician, I already had a lot of opportunities to be in a band while I was here because I was in Pop's orchestra and we'd get chances to perform. So for me, it's that, not just the academic thing that you learn, but parang you're already given opportunities to live it out. Holistic, yeah. So, kaya pag, kaya nga, excited, it's kind of funny because I met a bunch of my classmates at an art gallery a couple of months ago. So, and then I asked, there's like 7 of them. So, what was your course? It's like, Liacom. What was your course? Economics. I asked them all, and like almost like, parang, I don't know, maybe one or none was
still doing their...
was doing the actual course, but you know, the things we learned, parang a lot of them were doing business, like baking, kung iba-iba. Pero it was something na experience mo rin kasi while here. So you don't really get stuck to a path. Like I said, that's why I ended up, you know, still finishing business management, even if I was a musician, because na-apply ko pa rin siya. And yun, I hope it answers your question. But it's that. It's a real world, you know, education, which you need nowadays, diba? Nowadays, parang people are like, do you really need a college education? Some people are like, just go to YouTube and just start But yeah, but here, me being in school, you get to do it, physically with your peers, get to meet people and.
Yeah, you're right. It's a community. It's like a whole ecosystem, and when you're planted in it, it's not more than just the classes or the.
Yeah.
It's all of that and above. Okay, and that's it for our podcast. Thank you so much, Barbie.
Thank you.
It has been
Meryl.
a pleasure. And the bell. The nostalgia. Inducing bell.
Do they still play that? It's not still
They
that.
still play it. And we had the idea to play this also for the podcast. And it was also recommended by our podcast mentor.
Yeah. You should ask Zild to make of the same song, but put beats behind it or something like that, the same melody, and then be the intro of the podcast.
Wow, that would be
like a modern, diba? But with the same melody.
Yeah.
Something
It parang when we walked in campus the first time, just in preparation for this series, narinig namin yung bell. Tapos sabi namin, parang, ma-activate ka, like a winter soldier. But, this is, and you're back in your 18-year-old self or 17-year-old self.
Especially now, I really miss, parang isa ko yun sa mga, syempre hindi siya mangyayari, pero parang dream ko siya. Sabi ko, I wish I was back in school. Parang, I don't know, it's just fun. It's fun to just,
and it's a safe space.
To learn, to go to your classes, to learn. I mean, it was a lot of work. Pero I don't know, I miss being in school. It was fun. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Barbie.
Thank you, Meryl. That's really fun. Thank you.
We'll have a team photo, group selfie, if that's okay. Give love with Lasallian Giving. Lasallian Giving is a new online donation facility that calls us to spread love for our Lasallian mission. Please visit the Lasallian Giving portal to donate via e-wallet or online banking, or go to any of our over-the-counter payment centers to support DLSU. Lasallian friends and alumni may donate any amount to the following projects and campaigns: scholarships for Lasallian Legacy Fund, sports, culture and arts, infrastructure and facilities, this podcast, and Santuario de La Salle. Leave a legacy, strengthen our animo. Give now at www.dlsu.edu.ph/give.